o'clock? I think we are, aren't we? Okay, so I will call the meeting to order. Mr. Godfrey is in Florida. So it's my understanding he's gonna be there through the month of March. All right, so I'd ask you to stand with me. Okay, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Welcome, Doug. Good to have you here today. What's your pleasure on the agenda?
Move to approve.
Support. Okay, the motion and support to approve the agenda. Any additions or comments? If not, all in favor of the motion to approve the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. It is approved. And then what's your pleasure about the regards to the minutes of the last meeting?
Move to approve.
I'll support with correction or question. When I was looking at the township contracts, under Fayette, they have processed gravel, 1,500 tons, various roads, township share 33,000. Under Camden, processed gravel, 1,500 tons, various roads for 22,500. There's a misconnect there somewhere or something I don't know.
Delivery.
Different gravel.
Different?
No, go ahead.
Fayette should be coming out of Carr Brothers,
Yeah, that's more.
and Camden should be coming out of our pit.
For that much difference?
Between
78,000 and 52,000?
Yeah, I don't know on that. The only thing I can say,
I can pull the contracts and verify real quick.
I think we need to, because that almost looked like limestone versus gravel to me.
and that could be.
But I don't know, so something looks wonky there. And then the other question, and it may not actually be in the, it's not in the minutes, but on your deposit sheet for the MDOT was 276,000, you have a total of 883,000. That's not correct, I don't think.
That's not on the minutes, is it?
No, it's
No, it's
not.
on the agenda.
Yeah, technically it's on the agenda,
Yeah.
so that should be corrected.
She needs, yeah.
So
Yeah,
that was,
I don't know
noticed
why
that as
it's
well.
that way.
so, all right. So that's what I noticed in the minutes, and I guess I just need to know which one's correct and why, and then it gets corrected for the record,
Yep,
if necessary.
and that was Fayette and
Camden.
Camden,
It was in the minutes, so
Yeah.
you handled it last minute,
yes.
or last meeting, excuse me. Okay,
Okay. So all in favor of approving the minutes, subject to that change or clarification, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. They're approved. Okay, so we have the bills before us and the payroll. What's your pleasure there?
Move to approve the bills dated February 19th for a total of $222,040.070.
support.
Okay, motion from Mark, with support from Kathy to approve the bills dated 2/18/26.
No, February 19th.
Okay. All right, well, the printout says 2/18/26, my corner of it. So,
It doesn't match that?
Well, the printout says 218, the agenda says 219.
that's the dollar amount's the same.
Maybe the 218 was on the printout, like the precision report.
And then 219's on here?
Yes. On here, on the agenda. February 19th on the agenda.
Oh, February 19th, I was looking for 219. Okay. It's cause it says 18 cause it's the day before,
Yeah, that should be
and
that
then
way.
everything gets done the next day. I do the banking on the 18th. That's why it says that.
Understood. Okay, any questions on, any of the bills?
Yeah, how come we're buying a new key from Cronin Hillsdale Chrysler Jeep? What happened?
They needed probably a spare or something for a truck.
Come up missing.
Oh.
Nobody knows where the key went. And we only had one for it, so we had another one made.
And
And it's one of the expensive key that has to be programmed to the truck, and
What
Yeah.
truck is it?
it's one of the 1 tons.
One of the one tons.
I don't remember the number of the truck, but it was one of the 1 tons. The key, nobody seems to know where it went.
In somebody's pocket?
And yeah, but
Do we have 2 keys for it now, or?
yes, we do now.
Okay.
And that's what we did. We were using the spare keys, and we're like, well, if this comes up missing,
Right.
we're not gonna have any keys, so we had to go out there and buy the key and then take the truck out there for them to program the key to the truck.
And then my next question would be the $1,000 deductible. Taylor vehicle damage?
That was for, one of our drivers backed into a vehicle when they were flagging.
When they were what?
When they were flagging,
Flagging, I heard flattening.
no,
What?
flagging, no,
Alright.
no. So we had to
Okay,
cover the
yep, yep,
deductible
yep,
for that
sure.
accident.
Okay, so Taylor is the individual?
That is correct.
Okay.
I have a question about accidents.
Mhm.
I heard that a county road truck hit a person.
Wasn't a county
No.
road truck, it was a county employee.
Oh,
Wasn't, had nothing to do with us.
Maintenance department.
okay.
No, it was not for us.
Yeah,
No.
because our stellar reporting made it very confusing.
Yeah,
I don't know that they were wrong, but it was
Right.
very confusing.
Yeah, it was not us, thankfully.
I see the biggest share of this, payables is salt. So we use a lot of it. And it was necessary.
Before I left to go on vacation, I heard it was difficult to get salt maybe. I assume that is not the case now.
we're
or
still getting it, not as fast as we have in the past, but we're keeping ahead of it with what they're delivering.
Okay.
We have like 4,000 ton on order still.
Okay.
And they've been bringing us 200 to 300 ton a day.
How much salt do you use during a storm?
Close to, I wanna say it's 500 ton, 500 to 800 ton for the whole county. And the little storms hit us harder than the big storms. The little half inchers, they'll hit us harder than a foot of snow.
Well, the traffic will go down, turn to ice, and
So
then.
the salt is coming in to where we're staying ahead of it.
Good.
Cause at one time we were about one storm from running out,
From running
but
out.
now,
But the weather's also cooperating.
yes, the weather is cooperating.
I would say on Facebook, I kept up with what you were doing with the drivers, and I would have to commend the communication that we put out there, so the residents of Hillsdale County knew what the plan was, knew that you were trying, and all I hear is it blew like a banshee while I was gone, and
That's all
what
it
little
is.
snow we got, those 2 inches every night, went right back into the road.
We fought the same snow for about a week.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Haven't had a winter like that in quite some time, so,
You gotta go
Kudos.
back to probably 2013, 14,
yeah.
15 in that area, so it's been that long ago,
So kudos to the drivers and the staff and
absolutely.
hanging in there.
Any other questions on the bills? Okay, all in favor of approving the payment of the bills, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. They are approved. I even had a township board member in Camden Township who says they frequently drive in
I need another
Branch.
one.
This is the payroll.
Yeah.
No, that's the one I just handed you.
pass mine on.
But we don't
That-
want it.
that's
as
payroll.
yet.
Well, that's payroll.
What's this right here, Mike?
This is just the
Did you sign it?
accounts
No,
payable.
you need to sign this one yet.
We gotta get the right terminology.
Okay.
I think, Mike, you need to sign that one, yeah. Okay, now we have the payroll. Do I hear a motion to approve the payroll?
Move to approve.
Support.
Okay, motion from Kathy, support from Mark to approve payment of the February the 26th regular payroll in the amount of $131,557.29. Any questions on the payroll? Okay, all in favor of approving the payroll, say aye.
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 Opposed, no. It is approved. Well, I've only signed two. Is there another one there I haven't signed?
Yeah, this one.
This one's got 3 signatures on it, so maybe we need
Yep.
another one.
So just would make follow-up comment. I was at the Camden Township Board meeting in early February, and one of the board members said they drive in Branch County quite a bit, and they felt like we had done a better job of plowing and salting than Branch County had done, so we just pass that compliment along. Okay, the treasurer's report is next.
Beginning cash and investment balance is $2,728,863.92. Total receipts is $287,631.40. Totaling bills and payroll is $355,596.99. CD reserves for 2 trucks is $701,340.52. Ending available fund balance is $1,959,556.81. Outstanding accounts payable is $5,092.14.
Okay, any questions on the treasurer's report? Stand approved as presented. Okay, you are gonna check on this item back here, where it has that
Oh, yeah, that's gonna be corrected.
883,000.
Yeah, cause it should just be the total of the 2 EFTs
Yeah.
on there.
Okay, we don't have any standing orders today, do we? All right, I'll open the floor for public comment. Big crowd, Doug.
I stand today because it's a commissioner's update. As Mike had mentioned, there was an accident. It was one of the maintenance vehicles. It was an unfortunate accident that occurred. It was an accident Michigan State Police is investigating, and we do not have really any information on that has come from the Michigan State Police other than it was an accident and it was pedestrian in the crosswalk. They did have video that was from the courthouse. They had a good view of the accident. So the investigation will have the results when it's available. It's not available at this time. At our last Board of Commissioners meeting, we had a 5-hour meeting. We didn't finish, we started at 9, didn't finish until 2. Public comment lasted 2 hours. The point of the public comment was to try and relay to commissioners the importance of having the vote on the $15.5 million potential Lifeways building bond to remain as a vote on the ballot, as commissioners did decide previously. The motion that was to be presented at our meeting on Tuesday would have been to rescind that resolution so that it would have been a decision of the commissioners. The voice of the people for the 2 hours, all of the folks were very strong in having that remain as a ballot issue. The motion was tabled. It'll be brought up again, I believe, at our next meeting. So there were 50 people anyway, maybe more. In attendance, it was standing room only. We are considering having our next meeting in a circuit courthouse. We'll see whether that, I don't know whether that has been decided yet, but that is the message that came out of our meeting. Beyond that, if you recall, I reported that the budget committee had recommended to either scrap the plan for moving to the district court into 25 Care Drive or find another location. By finding another location or finding a lower price, the budget committee and the facilities committee is working towards that end. So we are trying to accommodate what we can afford the best we can, understanding that to be district court is by statute. We need to find some place for them, and so we're moving forward. We also do have the deadline is still October of 2028 when to be district court must be out of the annex. So stay tuned, and that completes my report for now. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
So I just want to make a comment regarding the accident. I had a conversation on Tuesday. I was in the treasurer's office and had a conversation with the chief deputy county treasurer, who, prior to becoming the chief deputy county treasurer, she worked in the register of deeds office for many years. She was struck on that very same intersection herself sometime when I was still county treasurer. I never heard anything about it until now. And I said, did you file a claim of some kind? So she said she was headed across the street. She saw this truck was not going to stop. And so she took a step backwards. She said, had I not done that, I probably would have, really been hurt seriously. As it was, she landed on her left side, tore up her arm and her shoulder. She says, I took one day off work and came back to work. She said, but in all the years she worked in the deeds office, of course that's now where the probate judge's office is, she says, I saw traffic out there all the time. People running red lights, people doing all kinds of crazy things. So I find it interesting that this is, the incident that just happened is not the first time that has happened there.
Well, in coming today to today's meeting,
Yeah.
I'm stopped on Broad Street where the bank is and Ethan's Donuts. And I had stopped because the light was turning red. And coming from the fair direction of the fairgrounds, coming from south, there were at least cars that light was red.
And there was more than one that went through it.
There was 3. I counted. There's 3. I had stopped already. Light turned red, and 3 cars didn't slow down. They were going too fast. So it's a problem.
Probably doing 35, 40 miles an hour.
It was a problem. Well, I was sitting, so I don't. It's tough, but they were driving too fast. Yeah. So anyway,
Well, I myself was just about in an accident at the corner of Howell and Bacon. The light was green, you know, and I went through the intersection and all of a sudden I looked over here, coming south on Howell, the pickup truck that was coming right at me. I hit the brakes and he hit the brakes about the same time, you know, prevented an accident, but, so, yeah, it is a problem, potential problem.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So our manager is on vacation and so assistant manager is gonna give the report today. So Heather?
All right, the crews have been busy fighting snow when that's applicable, cutting trees and canopy work per service request, grinding stumps, cold patching, mowing brush. We've been receiving salt slowly. We have fulfilled our pre-season order. We're just waiting for it all to get here. We'll be putting our order in for next year by April 1st. We have to give them our total by then. Somerset Road, north of Stewart Road, where we have the bridge closed or the road closed there. The township at this time is not interested in replacing it. It's gonna remain closed. I have sent an email to Eagle about meeting out there on site again, to discuss other options. The township has brought to our attention, which we were aware of it, and Eagle's aware of it too, but there's a structure downstream, right? It's not upstream, it's downstream, around the corner on Stewart Road, that is much smaller than the bridge that they're requesting us to put in. And so that is the biggest that's the question that the township has, is why are we having to put in this giant bridge when downstream there's a much smaller culvert? So we just want Eagle to be out there, and I know they've seen it, but bring that to their attention again and discuss if there's any other options. Because everything that we've told the township, I don't know if they don't believe us or whatever, but they just want to slap a culvert in there and call it good. So we're hoping to get Eagle out. They said maybe like March or April they'll schedule a time to come out once the weather's a little bit better to be on site.
And that's Wheatland Township?
Yes.
Yes. The other culverts that we've discussed over the last few months, we're just waiting on township approval because they are local contracts and we have not heard from those townships yet. Frontier Road, south of Burt Road, we do have an approved contract for that. The culvert has been delivered here, and as soon as the weather permits, we will be replacing that. Bacon Road, east of Rumsey Road, that is a primary road, so we do not need a township contract. We have received quotes for that. It's anywhere between $7,000 and $10,500 to replace it. It's going to be an 80-inch by 70-foot culvert. We've got 30 days, the quote's good for 30 days, so sometime within that 30 days we'll order it. But that, because of the size, I believe we're gonna have to have a crane, and it'll have to be delivered on site and timed where the crane can pick it up and set it at the same time. So we have to coordinate some things before we know when we can replace that.
You said that's an 80-inch culvert?
Yes, 80-inch by 70 feet. That's what is currently there, and we're replacing it in kind because it is a drain, county drain, so we're working with the drain commission on that, and that allows us, we have to put in the same size.
And which township is that in?
Is that
Adams.
Adams Township?
What road's that on again? I'm sorry.
Bacon Road,
Bacon,
east
thank you.
of Rumsey Road. I've been working on grade inspection packages. Those are like the bid packages or the programming for our federal aid jobs. The safety project, we have submitted the grade inspection. We've had the grade inspection meeting. That's where the MDOT representative meets with us, usually virtual, and picks apart the package and has us revise things or whatever. Then we submit the final programming package, and then it gets obligated and it'll be put out for bid. The safety project will be in the May bid letting, and that's the intersection signs. I think there's 6 different intersections that will get flashing stop signs. We have submitted the grade inspection programming package for the small urban project, and that grade inspection meeting is scheduled for Tuesday. So we'll meet with them and they'll give us all the revisions that we need to do and we'll get that submitted. And then I'm hoping that'll be in the May bid letting as well, but it might not make it till the June one. And then I'm hoping to get the various roads, which is the Concord, Jonesville, and Territorial Road project. I'm hoping to get that submitted this week. So then in the next couple weeks, we'll have the grade inspection meeting and maybe make the May letting on that as well.
Which roads?
That is the Concord, Jonesville, and Territorial Road project, federal aid.
Refresh my memory, I thought when we got a list of scheduled projects over the next 3 or 4 years or 10 years, I thought we quit doing Concord Road and Jonesville Road and moved all to Territorial Road because it was in such rough shape.
Nope, because Concord we did from 12 to Sterling Road last year.
Right.
We are finishing Concord Road from Sterling to the county line this year. Jonesville we did from the county line to McLean Road, and we are doing from McLean to 49 this year to finish that stretch. We did Herring last year, all of that, so that's done, and then we're moving down to Territorial Road. We scratched Reading Road.
Okay.
We were supposed to do Reading Road, but that got scratched because we needed to move to Territorial Road. And so we'll do Territorial from the county line to M49 this year, and then over the next couple years, we will be finishing Territorial all the way to 127. And then there's more roads in the plan in the future, but that's what we're planning on. And the small urban is the stretch of Spring Street that is ours, that has curbing, so that's just gonna be a mill and fill. We've got Bar Street, the stretch that's ours, which is Fayette to Mechanic. That's just gonna be a mill and fill. And then we've got Mechanic Road from Lake Wilson to Bar Street, and that's gonna be a mill and fill. And a mill and fill is just where we mill down 1.5 or 2 inches and place that much asphalt back in place. So like in the curbed areas, you won't be too high. You'll match right back to the gutter. Any questions on that stuff? Okay. We have put, you guys, I know you're aware that we received funding for the Likely Road Bridge, south of Camden, north of Hartley, and the Mosierville Road, east of Borden Road. We received funding through the Critical Bridge, funding. We had to put out requests for proposals for the design engineering on those. And we sent that out, and they're due back April 2nd. We don't have to have sealed bids or anything because that's a professional service. So I believe we sent it out to 7 different consultants. We have heard back from one that said, unfortunately, they're too busy and aren't going to be able to provide us a proposal. But I think we've heard back from maybe 4 of the 7 that are in favor and planning on working on a proposal. So. And they'll be the ones that do the eagle permitting, design the bridge, take care of all that stuff.
So I have a question on the Likely Road Bridge. You know, as I recall, the initial numbers you gave us was the proposal was a $1.6 million project. And I had a conversation after the meeting that day, you know, why in the world is this bridge so expensive? And the stream that goes under that bridge isn't as big as the one on Camden Road where we put the wooden bridge in for around $300,000. Is there any hope that we can do something like that there versus?
I hope so. There's always hope, but the way that when you apply for critical bridge funding, there is steps that you go through from the state, and they give you like an Excel spreadsheet that is a worksheet that you figure out the estimate. Nothing has been designed. We have no idea what the bridge is going to be because you haven't done eagle stuff. You haven't looked at bank full width measurements or anything like that. You have to go by kind of a lot of assumptions, and you figure out the square footage of what could be replaced there, almost like worst case scenario. And then it tells you, it gives you prices, unit prices for a reconstruct, and if it's over water is more expensive than if it's not over water. And there's all these different things that you have to put into it that builds this price up, and that all comes from MDOT. MDOT gives you those unit prices, and you just plug the square footage in or the lump sum number in, and then it calculates it all out. So that is kind of based on worst case scenario for that price. Yeah, there's hope that it could be cheaper than that, but I can't guarantee you that it's gonna come in cheaper than that.
I know that the reaction I get from local people down there and township board members, when I tell them the proposed cost to replace that bridge is 1.6 million, they're just like me.
Yeah.
It makes no sense whatsoever.
No.
The watershed, there was much smaller watershed than the watershed, that over the bridge that we replaced the wooden bridge on Camden Road.
And I think it's been brought up before, but I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with, the bridge that they replaced several years ago on Trip Road, south of 34, down in the Nations. Drive that sometime, because it is mind-blowing that they would put that type of structure on that road. That road is almost a 1-lane road, maybe 1.5 lane road, and it opens up to like a highway through there. And I encourage you to go look at that and see. I mean, it's not gonna make you feel any better, but that's the kind of things that happen, and we have no control over that.
Well, my comment is, it's no wonder that the national debt continues to grow like it does when we can't bring common sense to the table on decisions, like this.
Yep. Eagle's got their standards, and a lot of the bridge sizes are come from bank full width, and that is based on flooding, basically, how wide the streams are at the full width of the bank, and that's what determines what your span has to be. So it doesn't matter if 100 years ago they put in a 5-foot culvert. Now water has eroded those banks and they've widened out, and they end up having to put something much larger in place. So I understand your frustration. It's all of our frustrations, but I can't sit here and tell you that, oh, it'll probably come in way cheaper. It'll be 300,000. I can't tell you.
What happens in a case like this if the township says, I know that their share would only be like 2.5%, but if they say, we don't want to do it. I mean, another option is to just close the bridge. It's on a gravel road that doesn't get a lot of traffic. If the new bridge south of it is open so that there's 2 residences that are south of that bridge.
At this point for this bridge, it would be very difficult for the township to step out of it, because when we apply for critical bridge funding, we generally get a letter of support from the township saying they're in favor to replace it, and it would be very irresponsible of the township not to pay their 2.5%, because then we would lose that entire critical bridge funding that we've been awarded. And that would be a huge irresponsible choice on our behalf, is to give up that funding because of 2.5%.
Which township is it?
Right.
Wright Township. That's $40,000, and that's a whole lot less money than what Reading Township had to put up for their bridge and some of these other bridges. So I understand their concern. I understand the conversation, but it is only $40,000 to the township.
And they did a letter of support.
Yeah,
when
right.
submitted.
And now it would be completely different if it was something where it was just a local contract between us and them, and we're proposing, like Somerset.
Right.
We're proposing that we replace it with this. This is something that was put in 3 years in advance. We have a letter of support from the township and all of that. It'd be difficult for them. Camden Road was a completely different thing, because that was done not through critical bridge funding. So that was done completely different, and completely different set of rules for that. This has state or federal funding in it, so we have to check a whole bunch of different boxes than what Camden Road did.
Right, so it was Hog Creek and
Yes,
Allen Township.
exactly.
That's why we was able to put a wooden bridge in there.
Yes. Yep. That was just
I agree with
Yes.
everything that's going on
absolutely.
here.
I agree with you,
But
Mary, but it is what it is at this point.
when you got so many fingers in the pot, everybody's
Yes.
got their own restrictions there.
But moving along, those proposals should come back April 2nd, and we should have an idea. We'll have to go through it and score it to pick which one we're gonna go with, but, we'll move forward from them. And I believe we're hoping for a November bid letting in 2027 for those two bridges. That's what we're shooting for. That's what the proposal is asking for the professional services to have it done by. The Hartley Road at Likely Road Bridge, we submitted the application for the earmark with State Representative Wartz's office February 13th. We'll wait to hear more. In our meeting when Bob and I sat down with Jennifer, she said she will ask that Bob and I come and speak on the behalf of the road commission because we know more about it than what she does. So at some point, I imagine that we will go up there and sell our project.
You have to go to Lansing.
Right. And we might even take our engineer with us, either the engineer that does the inspections, which is Scott Civil, or we would take Charlie Briner, who is our PE, just so we have an engineering perspective there to help explain things as well. But we haven't heard anything on when that might be. Monte Carlo Drive in Rapala Court, that's still in discussions. We are gonna send out a second letter to the property owners with a copy of the petition because we're only at about 60% of the road frontage property owners' signatures. And Bob and I feel like we need a higher percentage to mandate them to do the special assessment. So we're gonna try one more time, send it out, try and get more signatures. And if we don't get any more signatures or we don't hear back from people, then we might just move forward with Blaine's portion that he's gonna pay 100% of.
So of the 60% you have, what's the percentage for versus against?
Nobody's against, we just haven't heard from them.
Okay.
That's the frustrating part, is everybody that has contacted us is 100% in favor of it. That's why I don't.
60%.
Yes.
6% of
60% of the road frontage is what we have signatures for. Not that we've heard from,
Right.
but who we have signatures for. And I don't feel comfortable moving forward now just doing Blaine's portion.
Right.
With all of these people that are for it, they're gonna be very, very upset.
So when you say 60% of the road frontage, one person can own a whole lot of road
Absolutely.
frontage.
Absolutely.
So where are we on the kind of the number of people who have frontage versus percentage of road frontage?
I wanna say, I had that written in my old update, for some reason I was thinking we were at like 51%. Like we had heard from maybe signatures from like 9 different property owners, and
And there's only about 20?
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
But because several of those hold multiple parcels,
Right.
like Blaine
Yeah. No,
holds
I get
a
it.
lot
Yes.
of parcels.
Yeah, no, that's why I
So,
asked the
yes,
question.
yeah.
So we're only talking about 20 people.
Correct.
20
Families or whatever.
whatever.
Yeah.
And there's, that frontage isn't owned equally by them,
Correct.
and I get that. Okay.
And I believe the majority of the signatures, if not all of them, are people that live here. They're not the ones that are from Toledo or Detroit or something like that.
Right.
Those are the ones that,
Yeah.
that's why we're gonna mail the letter with a copy of the petition for them to hopefully mail back to us, because I think a lot of these signatures were gotten by just a certain property owner driving around and getting them. Pittsford Road property. I know Bob has been talking to you guys about that acre that we were going to look into selling, to the family that's wanting to buy it. We've met with all 3 property owners that butt up to that parcel, and we have met with our county surveyor, and we are not gonna sell it at this time, because the initial issue, if you remember Bob saying, the initial issue was the rods. It's off by a rod. We have to get that figured out first before we can split anything up. But just roughly using GIS and mapping out, using the center line to split the parcel, there's roughly 0.3 acres on one side and 0.7 acres on the other side. Lazinski went out, our county surveyor, he went out and painted some stuff and put some stakes out to mark it out, and it looks like the northern property owner does not come onto our property to access theirs. The one to the east, they're the ones that have a gate right at the property line, and they access our property to get to theirs. The other guy, sounds like his access is north of our property line. So we should not have to involve him at all. It should be just as simple as, once we figure out that rod situation, splitting it on the center of the road, that 0.3 acres, or it might be less if that rod changes, you know, the north line. That goes to this property owner, this goes to this property owner. We're trying to work out the details so it appeases everyone equally. And nobody's trying to steal somebody else's property.
So who's paying for the survey?
Well, that's the thing that we're working with Lazinski on. He is not having to do an actual survey. I'm not a surveyor, so I don't understand it all, but it sounds like he can do it with just descriptions. But there may be a cost to it, and we would work that out probably with the sale.
So in other words, recoup that in addition to the sale price?
Correct.
Okay.
Something along those lines. We do not have a price. When Lazinski figured stuff out, he was going to get us a number of what it would cost to do his part of it. But we have not said, absolutely, we will pay for it, or anything like that. It's all still in the works.
So the potential is that you're selling one side to one property owner and the other side to the other.
Correct.
The third property owner, because they don't access it, it's okay that they don't get anything.
Correct.
It's kind of
Absolutely.
where everybody is.
Yeah.
Okay.
We involved that
Sure.
third one to the north because the guy that is from the east side, he got that north guy involved.
Right.
And then that north guy was up in arms and you can't keep me from my property and this, that, and the other. But when Lazinski went out there,
Right.
it looks like where that guy accesses it isn't even on our
Isn't
property.
ours.
So it
Okay.
shouldn't
be.
even affect him.
Okay. Okay, perfect.
And the last thing is, later on, you guys see in new business, the policies that we're going to be approving.
Yep.
There was discussion that you would be approving the work rules. We have pulled that from this meeting because I was at the manager's meeting at McChrysip yesterday, and there were things talked about there that Bob and I talked, and we feel like McChrysip needs to look over our work rules before you guys approve them. So we'll be approving them at a later date, once we get it back from them and make any revisions that need to be revised. You guys will see that at that time. But that's all I got.
Okay.
Any questions?
No, but I got
Are you, go ahead, you wanna ask your question first?
well, I'm not asking you a question. In my travels, hauling hay, the intersection of Litchfield and Millens Road on the west side, be coming up to the stop line, it looks like the trucks traffic has pushed the pavement up. I just commenting that, wondering if it had been seen and, okay.
That might be something that we have to like mill off.
Yeah, you will
It
have,
is, it's,
It's like 49, was it?
yeah,
12.
you'll have to mill it
Yep.
off, because it's at least I'd say at least a 4-inch hump.
we're aware of it, and
Yeah.
it's on the list for spring work.
Okay,
Can you send us your written
yes,
report?
Yeah.
please.
Because that gives me much better
Oh, yeah.
clarification
Yep.
to
I plan
let
on
the
emailing it out.
townships.
I don't, but so much in my township
Right.
reports.
Yes, that will be emailed out to all you guys afterwards.
Perfect.
And,
Yes, always done.
I already sent you an email request.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Yep, no
And
problem.
we really appreciate
It's a big
Yep.
deal.
you
Yep.
doing
Very
that.
good.
No problem at all.
Okay, thank you, Heather.
Yep.
Okay, do I have any old business to come before the board? All right, so then we come to new business. We have two of these policies. Which one is it? The regulations and work rules, that's the one that was pulled?
yeah,
Yes.
it's not in your folder,
All we've got is what, 109 and
103.
103.
Okay,
You still have the paper copy, so you can do it.
Right, well, I printed mine off the email, so I do have it, but
I was like, maybe she didn't print them off, I'll stick them in here just in case.
no, I have them cause I read them over last night.
So do we have a motion to approve policy 103.
Move.
Support.
Okay, I have a motion from Mike and a support from Kathy to approve policy number 103, the ethics and standards of conduct policy. Are there any questions on any of the?
Does this need a roll call?
I don't believe so. I can if you'd like me to though.
No, I mean, that's for the board.
Well, there is a place here for every board member to sign this thing. So perhaps it would be, just to be safe, a good idea if we would do a roll call.
Alright.
To refresh my memory, were there any changes to the policy?
Not really, I don't believe, it was more verbiage to match with, if it said sick leave, it got turned to personal leave. I don't believe there isn't really any changes.
Okay, so it was a matter that that it was read and minor changes made.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, the clerk will call the roll.
Mike Kearney,
Yes.
Gary Leoniger,
Yes.
Kathy Schmidt,
Yes.
and Mark Klein.
Yes.
And then I have do you wanna just sign the copy you have, or I can do
Just
this?
sign one copy of it.
Yeah. I have one that's not stapled. That's easier.
This one is
Yeah.
not
All right.
stapled.
Oh, you have, that, you do have the one
Yeah.
that's stapled. Okay. He has one that's not
He's got one
stapled,
that isn't stapled.
so I can stick it in both good. Make it easier.
Oh,
Want the whole policy to go with this?
Yeah.
That's all 4 pages.
Alright, cause it's single sided, there you go, so we'll just put that on that side, we'll do it like this.
You put the signature page on top, right?
Yep, I certainly
Good for
did.
you. Thank you.
After looking at the agenda, I noticed there's more missing that should be on here, as in the second public comment in the adjourn part.
Oh, okay.
So I just thought I'd bring that to your attention.
And this next one we're looking at?
Oh, no, just in the agenda
On the
period.
agenda, part of
Yeah,
it,
this isn't in the policy.
on here, the agenda should have public comment and adjourn.
Okay, I got you.
None of us caught that.
No.
Guess we wanted to meet forever.
Uh-huh.
Well, we don't wanna follow the trend that county commissioners have said.
Oh, no, no, thank you.
Oh, that's kind of a dig. Oh, well.
Okay, so then we have before us the board meeting public comment guidelines policy.
Move to approve.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion and a support. There's a couple things here that I have some questions about. The first one is on page 1, next to the last paragraph. Public comments shall be limited to not more than 5 minutes. Do we want to go with 5 minutes? I mean, I know that some public bodies set 3 minutes. I personally think that 5 is a bit excessive. I would rather see that put it 4. Kind of a happy medium. And then the second thing is the paragraph at the top of the next page. The members of the public in attendance at the board meeting shall be given the opportunity to address the board on any agenda item only after being recognized by the chair or acting chair after a motion has been made and duly seconded and prior to board discussion on the item. All comments, statements, or questions will be directed to the board. Once the board begins its discussion on the motion, there will be no further public comment until specifically requested by the board. You know, I don't think this paragraph should be in here the way it is worded. Maybe not at all. I think we have to give people public comment at some point early in the meeting. And I think at the end of the meeting, we need to give them opportunity for comment. But as I read and understand this means that they have the right to make comment on any agenda item we have as we go through the meeting.
Given the opportunity to address the board on agenda only after being recognized by the chair or acting chair after a motion has been made and duly seconded and prior to the board discussion on that item. Oh, that shouldn't be the way they should only be able to make comments
During public
during
comment.
public comment.
Right.
And as this is stating, the first public comment should only be on agenda items. If this is the policy that's been in place, it's not what we've been, it's making
That's-
people
It's,
adhere to.
that part is not in the original policy.
Okay, so that is new. So to me, the bigger question is that the way we wanna go forward, where the first public comment is only on agenda items, the last public comment is on whatever they wanna speak about. But I agree, this B, the paragraph you just read should be struck, because I don't think it should be part of the policy that they can comment during the meeting.
Exactly.
Agree.
I know there's times that we do take some comments during the meeting, and that's by chair discretion, I don't mind that, but I don't want them coming in here, I don't think that the public should be able to demand to speak during the meeting. That's my thought. So I'm not sure why that got added, I know why the other piece got added, I was surprised why this piece got
I
added,
didn't
or where
prepare
it came
these, so
from.
I don't know.
I'm gonna text Bob and see if he has any input on that.
So
Well, I guess a thought I had would be, we just table this.
there you go, I would table
Yeah.
it and bring it back at the next meeting after Bob can address that. Yes. So I would move to table.
So I'll support that.
Okay, so a motion made and supported to table the public comments guidelines policy 109. Any discussion on the motion to table? Okay, all in favor of the motion to table, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The item is tabled.
The only out of that would be if the chair doesn't recognize someone wanting to speak on an agenda item.
Yeah, but I think having the language that was presented to us in here is not good public policy.
You could possibly have an overtaking of the meeting.
Yeah. And I've never been on a board where this has been practiced.
No, I don't, I've been to meetings that was that way, but
Well, it's chaotic.
yes.
Doug, do you still have a comment?
The only comment would be that, just like you just did, if the chair asks for a comment, then it's appropriate. For someone to demand a time to speak, that is public comment, and you got your 5 minutes, say your piece. You know, but during the course of discussion, if you see someone that you, as chair, to recognize, that is still part of the, we go as well.
Yeah.
But as you say, the chaos that ensues must be controlled by the chair.
Well, and I wonder if Bob's not gonna come back and say that that's what this says, because it says, at the board meeting, an opportunity to address the board on any agenda item only after being recognized by the chair. So if the chair doesn't recognize them, they can't comment. So maybe Bob's gonna come back and say, well, that's essentially what that paragraph says, but.
Do you guys also want to have me ask him about changing that 5 minutes to 4 minutes or 3 minutes?
I
5
do.
minutes was in the original.
I would go to 3, because most township
Yeah.
boards that I attend, they limit public comment to 3, and the supervisor will have a timer right there, so.
Because that's what's probably gonna have to happen, because we don't have to enforce
Yes.
it.
Because when his timer goes off, your time's up.
Is it in the agreement of all of you for 3 minutes?
I could live with either 3 or 4. I think
Okay.
5 is too much.
Madam Schmidt?
Kathy, what are you thinking?
Well, my thought is we haven't had a problem with it for the most part,
Mhm.
and so is by changing it to 3, the perception is that we're trying to limit public comment.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it's a perception issue, and do we revise the policy if it becomes problematic and just leave it alone? And maybe we just change it to 3 because that's consistent with what the townships. So I could come down either way on that one.
That's why I offer 4 as a compliment.
Right.
How about 2.5? Split the 5.
Yeah.
No, we don't wanna do that.
Okay, and then we do have one contract before us. From the Amboy Township Dust Control.
I would move to approve.
Okay, I have a motion for Kathy, a support from Mike to approve, the contract with Amboy Township for road stabilization. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. It is approved.
Excuse me, thank you.
So that contract, everybody sign it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have a question, then going back to this list of
Outline.
policies that Bob gave us at the last meeting. My question is, I don't see anything here where there's a policy on accident reporting. Now, maybe it's already incorporated in one of the policies that's here. But if for example, we've got a snow plow driver who, hammers somebody's mailbox, and he's aware of it, I would hope we expect him to self-report that, and so that we can fix it. So can you point me to a policy?
I believe it's in the work rules.
It would be in there also, but it is just our mailbox policy, is if it's struck by a driver, then we replace it.
Okay.
Or give them X amount of dollars towards getting a new one.
Mm-hmm.
We do have a mailbox policy, but Bob did say that this does not include all of our policies. This just was supposed to be for you guys to know kind of the sequential numbering and give you a brief idea